This video provides an overview of business rules in ServiceNow Express and demonstrates how to modify and create them. Business rules provide business logic to automate processes in your ServiceNow instance. Business rules run on the server side after a user submits or updates a form. What can you do with a business rule? You can automatically set field values dynamically, generate in-platform messages, or abort an action to enforce your process and workflow. In addition, business rules can send REST outbound messages to integrate with external systems. When you select the Web Services option, a tab appears where you can specify a REST service and REST method. You can also indicate any variable substitutions here, if applicable. Now let's look at two notable properties of business rules. First, business rules applied to a parent table automatically propagate to all child tables as well. For example, the task table is the parent table to the incident, problem, and change tables. So a business rule on the task table will also affect these child tables. Business rules can also reach fields of referenced records. A reference field stores a reference to a record in another table. For example, the caller field on the incident table is a reference to a record in the user table. A business rule running on the incident table could access any field of caller or of any other record referenced by caller, for example, the caller's manager, who is also a user. Now let's look at how business rules are configured to execute. Insert only runs once when the record is initially created. Update runs each time the record updates. Insert and update run when the record is initially created and each time the record updates. Regardless of how a business rule is configured to execute, the conditions defined in the business rule must all be true for it to run. Conditions can consist of filter conditions, which look at field values, and role conditions, which look at the role of the user who triggered the change. Now let's look at how to find the existing business rules in the platform. Navigating to System Configuration, Business Logic, Business Rules allows you to view and access all business rules in the system. You can also access business rules that affect a particular table from a form. Here we open an incident form to access the business rules that apply to the incident table. Business rules that are inherited from the task parent table are also included in the list, as shown in the breadcrumb link. Let's look at modifying a business rule. This business rule sets the company field to the company of the caller unless the user manually enters a value. The conditions required for the business rule to set this value are that the caller field has a value and the company field is empty. And this business rule runs on both insert and update. Let's add a new incident to see how it works. We add a caller but leave the company field empty. When we save the incident, the company field is now populated with the caller's company. What if we had wanted to notify the user that the company field has been set automatically? We could add a message to the business rule that displays after the record has been saved. When we create a new incident, the message displays after we save it. Now we need to create a new business rule to escalate new incidents to high when the caller is a VIP. Let's start by creating a new business rule, VIP Escalation. Note that the table is already set to incident. In the When to Run tab, we set the business rule to run on insert and create a filter condition that the caller must be a VIP. The only option we have in the list is the caller field, so how do we access the VIP field? We can access the related field on the user table by scrolling to the end of the menu and selecting Show Related Fields. The list refreshes and we can select Caller User Fields. The list refreshes again, and from that list we select VIP. Finally, we set VIP to true. In the Actions tab, we create an action to set the escalation to high, and we submit the business rule. To test this business rule, we create a new incident and set the caller to a known VIP. The incident is automatically escalated to high. For more information, please consult our product documentation, videos, or blogs, or ask a question in the ServiceNow Express forums.